Hello there. The British Challenger 2 main battle tanks are to be deployed in Ukraine in the war against Russia as early as next month now. That was announced by Prime Minister Rishi Sunak on Wednesday during a joint visit with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to an army training ground in Dorset County. The Ukrainian crews who arrived last week will use the Challenger 2 tanks in the coming month to defend Ukraine's sovereignty, is what Sunak said. Zelensky had unexpectedly arrived in Great Britain on Wednesday. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak received Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in London. "Welcome to the United Kingdom, President Zelensky," wrote Sunak on Twitter on Wednesday morning. He shared a photo of himself embracing his Ukrainian guest, already there at the airport. The broadcaster Sky News had previously broadcast the president's landing at London Stansted Airport, and they broadcasted that live. Zelensky also shared a photo of his arrival at the airport via Instagram, where he can be seen next to Sunak. "The UK was among the first to come to the aid of Ukraine. I am in London today to personally thank the British people for their support and Prime Minister Rishi Sunak for his leadership," is what Zelensky wrote. The first stop on his trip took Zelensky to Downing Street, the seat of government, where a red carpet was rolled out for him. Sunak and Zelensky made a brief appearance to the press upon arrival and shook hands before disappearing behind the familiar black door. After breakfast with Sunak at Downing Street, he addressed Parliament and was met by King Charles III at Buckingham Palace. Zelensky emphatically expressed the request for Western fighter jets again. In the evening, he was received by French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz in Paris. And today he is expected as a guest at an EU summit in Brussels, but it hasn't happened before I'm filming this, of course. Sunak announced that he would check the availability of fighter jets, and he also assured the training of pilots and marines. However, he did not accept a promise to deliver fighter jets. But there's talk of longer-range missiles to help protect civilians. Zelensky stressed the importance of missiles to ward off the threat posed by drones. Great Britain has been training Ukrainian fighters for a long time, now, as I said, also on battle tanks. And Sunak has asked Defense Secretary Ben Wallace to examine what machines the UK could theoretically deliver to Ukraine. That's at least what Downing Street said on Wednesday. But it would be a long-term solution. The first Ukrainian pilots could be trained on NATO jets in Great Britain as early as spring, it was said. So far, Sunak has been reluctant to respond to demands for the delivery of fighter jets, such as those raised by ex-Prime Minister Boris Johnson. And during his visit to London, Zelensky emphasized that fighter jets are particularly important for Ukraine. Poland, among others, had recently urged the NATO partners to approve the delivery of fighter jets after battle tanks. Chancellor Scholz had expressed skepticism about this. He has called on allies to unite on arms sales to Ukraine and warned against a bidding war. "Cohesion within our alliance is our greatest asset," warned the politician on Wednesday in a government statement on the forthcoming EU summit, and he gave that statement in the German Bundestag, the federal parliament. "What damages our unity, on the other hand, is a public outbidding competition along the lines of battle tanks, submarines, airplanes, who wants more? What is harmful are pithy domestic political statements and criticism of partners and allies on the open stage." Germany has so far promised the delivery of 14 Leopard 2 tanks and has given the defense industry approval for the export of up to 178 copies of the older Leopard 1. So far, France has been more open than Germany and other countries when it comes to the delivery of fighter jets. And with previous arms deliveries, a British advance could increase the pressure on other allies. Great Britain is considered one of Kiev's closest supporters in the fight against the Russian war of aggression and, according to the Kiel Institute for the World Economy, is the second most important arms supplier to Ukraine after the United States. Again and again it was London that rushed forward with the delivery of new types of weapons, most recently with the mentioned Challenger 2 main battle tanks. And the pioneering role had put other allies, and not least Germany, under a lot of pressure. And I'll see you in my next video. I'll be back.